Hey, this is Thursday, September 16th, and if you listen quietly, you might get a chance to hear kids' points disappearing, because we're going to try a class that we don't record all the time, so it could be an entertaining day.
Wearing the same tie.
What?
Can we use this paper on the quiz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, all of my quizzes are open note, open story. The only time you can't use it is if you're the kid that immediately throws it away. In that case, you're challenging yourself. But even then, you can get a copy on Canvas. So, I mean, it should be good to go from that one. So, yeah. Same thing with the green sheet. The whole point of having the green sheet is you get to use it on the quiz. If you've not lost your Fisherman story, you get to use it on the quiz. If you talk over me, I get to charge you points. And so the way it works is, so that's the way as we move forward from there. Lachlan?
I think you're wearing the same tie as yesterday.
No, yesterday was a red tie with fish on it that were drinking hot sauce. You're thinking of Monday and Tuesday, and that was a salmon and a bass. This is a walleye. All right. Then home children, depending on if you're in my advanced class or my regular class, you're going to be getting a copy of a story. My regular kids, you get one here called The Fun They Had. And then my advanced kids, you're going to get a copy of one here. It says After 20 Years. This is what tomorrow's quiz is going to be about, but we'll talk about that here in just a moment for you. If you're not a living child because you're at home, you can get these on Canvas. Just go to today, and then you go on Thursday, and it has a link for it, and you can click it on there. It's also going to be links on the quiz, so you can always get to it that way, too, to try and help you guys out. Let's see, you guys have that library visit. We will be going there, which is my home children. The video recording at the bottom is not real long because it's only like half the class period. We're going to be going to the library for half the class. Green sheet is homework that is due tomorrow, which we're going to talk about here in a moment. In theory, it should be done because my goal is that I'm giving you credit for the work you did. It's just as you're taking the quiz, I'm going to come around, take a look at it, make sure you did it, give you credit. For most of you, it should be a really easy way to get 20 out of 20 points and you get all of your credit. And then my goal is to try and bump your grade up because, again, we've given you all the answers, unless you're the kid that has nothing written there. But then again, we get to make our own choices. Tomorrow's quiz is a Canvas quiz. It is not a Socrative quiz like last week. This one's going to be all you on your own and your brain. So the whole idea is we've been training you for tomorrow where you have to be able to read a story with your own brain, answer questions with your own brain. For those of you who don't have a brain,
That's hard.
you can Google a brain.
Right.
We are going to do this. We'll take 3 more. Home children, I'm going to be pausing the video in just a moment so you're not having to listen to kids babble here. Living children, we're going to take our 3 new people here in just a second. So home children, we're going to pause, be right back. You don't even notice. All right. Woo! They did a good job, those as humans. All right, so we have there. And, all right. The IXL from yesterday. I'm just reminding you on this one. When is it due?
Today. Yesterday. Today.
Monday? Sunday. Or Monday. Sunday.
Why would you say Sunday?
Because it says Sunday, right?
Oh, good job, Jerron, the only child in here who can read. Where it says in giant letters that are capital, due Sunday. So it's almost like it was right there in front of you, and you made me make fun of you the whole time. Yeah, so my goal is to give you several days to get it done. So you have until Sunday, which again, seems like a nice thing until you're the kid that forgets to do it, and then if you show up on Monday and it's not done, then you'll be standing kid, just so that you're aware. And standing kid in a new room, because Monday we won't be in this room. Monday we're going to be in my new room with all new seats except for you, who's going to be standing. So I'm telling you this to try and make it sit into your brain so that you make sure you submit it by Sunday night, and then you should be good to go. And to be honest, I'm not checking Sunday at midnight. I'm checking Monday morning at 8 a.m. So technically, if you wake up really early Monday, you could turn it in then. It's Monday at 8 a.m. is when I'm checking it. I just figure that most of you guys might not be awake by then. So then you should be good to go. Make sure you do the submitting things, and you should be good to go on that part. Hi, Ellie. What's up?
Goodness, that voice crack. Are all the teachers that were in the A rooms going back to their A room?
In theory, yes.
Okay.
Okay. James,
Where's Miss Randall's classroom?
right next to my classroom.
And then where is Mr. Baker's classroom?
Right next to Mrs. Randall's classroom.
You basically are going to live in
Oh.
We're all in that same area.
Basically.
Lachlan.
Will you have all your cool stuff?
No. The drawback is I can't hang anything up until January. So, because the same thing, I don't have furniture yet. Like, I have no shelving. I have nothing to put up there. And they told us, you get to go back to the room, but then we're going to tear everything out again over winter break. So I'll be hanging up some things. Like when you guys bring me stuff, I'm going to find an area to hang stuff. So as you guys bring things in, I'll keep putting it up there. It's just that I'm not going to bring out my giant boxes of stuff to then just have to take them down again. But if you guys bring me stuff, I'll still hang up pictures and stuff like that. That I'm fine with. It's just I'm not bringing out all my, because I have like shelves to put up, but they've told me I can't do that until January. So as you bring me stuff, that gives me a loophole. I can be like, this is new things, and I get to hang those things up. Leah,
My birthday's in January.
well, way to flex on kids. Flan,
Why are they even renovating?
it's above my pay grade. I have not the slightest idea. I liked my room. I mean, technically you have these issues like with the wallpaper was peeling off, like here. I had that same issue in my room where it was like, I had to keep stapling it back on there, but then kids like to pick at it and make it fall down more.
I like
So
this room.
they're now getting rid of all the wallpaper, so.
Dude, this room is spacious.
It is. Yeah, my new room's not. You guys will be sitting on each other's laps. It's not as bad as like Randall's room. It's bigger than her room. It's just not as big as this room. It's like it's a Goldilocks room. So it's not too big, not too small. It's a fairly right size. Tina,
Are the desks next to each other? Like there's
like rosy bits, but I don't do like all rows. I do. You'll see when you get there. It's all set up
That
fast.
should be so crazy.
So green sheet. This is just me reminding you. Tomorrow, I give you credit because we should have the whole thing filled in except for
I'm gonna take a
irony and
picture of
foreshadowing.
this.
If you don't have irony and foreshadowing, good. I've not told you irony and foreshadowing. That's coming in the future. But like, we filled in all of that, 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 so you've done the work. So when I give you credit tomorrow, it shouldn't be a bad thing. It should be a good thing, because I'm going to give you credit for the work you did. So I'm just giving you a heads up that's going to be coming tomorrow.
Wait, don't switch.
What's up, James?
Can I take a picture of that really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
we can do that?
Okay.
I have no answers on it.
Again, you don't need a picture. You've already done the work. It's already written down right there.
But PowerPoint's on campus.
So, for the quiz, it is a 15-question quiz. Here is what the quiz is going to cover. On the 15 questions, 2 of them are going to be the short story mountain. The what do you call the beginning bits? The exposition, and then the
Rising action.
and then the
Climax.
and then
Resolution.
So you're going to have 2 questions that can you figure out what part of the story that's going to be. You're going to have 1 question about figuring out a main idea. Then you're going to have 3 questions from the Fisherman story, which you have the things right in front of you. And then 9 questions are going to come from the fun they had, that little thing that you have. Shouldn't be that bad. Those 9 questions, as long as you know and can figure out characters, setting, plot, point of view, you should do all right. So we're going to sort of figure out, as long as you read the story before the quiz, my goal is it should not be super painful. That's what I'm aiming for. It's open note, so you're welcome to use all the handouts and all the stories. And again, technically you can Google it. I just don't think Google's going to help you with this one. If you're like, what kind of character is a fisherman? It's going to come back, he uses a pole. And you're like, that's not an answer. So I don't think it's going to be as helpful as you think, but you're welcome to Google if it makes your life better. But you are working on your own on this one. You don't get to cheat off other kids. This is just you cheating off yourself.
That's not nice.
All right, story of the fisherman. In theory, you have all the answers on there. If you don't, we're going to take a moment to try and help you. Those of you who have the answers, we're going to have you help the kids who might not have the answers. Those of you who don't have the answers, here's where you can kind of low-key cheat off the information that's going to be here in front of you. The first thing, this beginning paragraph. Hopefully you read it, because it is critical to the story. Where it says, the story uses archaic pronouns such as thee, thou, and thy. Archaic pronouns were used when speaking to someone who is close to you, like a wife, child, friend. They are also commonly used to show power over someone in an inferior position, like a boss to an employee or a teacher to a student. They are used to show power over a person. You should recognize thee, thou, and thy. For a lot of you, you see these words on Sunday in a book that you read. The Bible uses thee, thou, and thy whenever the God person is talking down to the human people. Thou shalt not kill. Thy shall not kick a puppy. And so it's going the idea that God is supposed to have power over not God people. So they're talking down to you. If, like me as a teacher, I should be able to use them to you because I have power over you. thou shalt not talk, or I'm going to smack thee with a stick and take away thy B points. And you're like, yes, Mr. Brovia. Whereas if Dr. Thorpe came in, she could use them to me. Be like, Mr. Broviac, are you smacking thou students? And I'm like, yes, I am. She's like, I'm going to fire thee. And I'm like, nah. And so she can speak that down to me. If you guys were to use it to me, it'd be sassy. So if you're like, Mr. Broviac, what's on thou tie? What is thy wear? Right in the throat. Because again, that's your way of trying to show you have power over me. Like if I did it to Dr. Thorpe, and I was like, Dr. Thorpe, how was thou day? She'd be like, oh, you little... And so it's a way of showing how the power works. Which, by the way, if you want to sass your parents and have them have no idea that you're sassing them, when you go home, you're like, hey, Mom, how was thou day? What is thou making for dinner tonight? They're like, wow, aren't you talking fancy? You'd be like, and you can just like walk away giggling. And they're going to think you're being polite when really you're telling them, I have power over you. And so that plays an important role in the story. Because at the beginning, one character gets to use it, and at the end, a different character gets to use it, because which character has power switches throughout the story. James?
How was thou day?
Wait.
That was a bold move for thou to do. Allow me to explain to the... My day's been fine, James. Except for these sassy children in first period. All right.
What does each one mean? Like thou?
I think thou is you, thy is your, thee is no, because it's a different pronoun. So I'm going to have to. I think also it goes with you. Also, I'm going to have to smack thee around. Yeah. So it's depending on how you use you. So it should be like you and your in some way or another. So yeah. I don't use it very often. So I'm not real up on it. So I'm not as sassy as So in the Fisherman story, to give you guys a quick rundown for it, where is the story taking place?
The seashore.
On a seashore. What time of day is it? Early in the morning. Who are our two main characters?
Fisherman and Genie.
Which character do we meet at the very beginning?
Fisherman.
Fisherman. Now,
And the net.
there's our early in the morning. The fisherman, our fisherman does not fish with a fishing pole. What does he use?
A net.
So this was back, and that's why it says that he undresses. It was not trying to be creepy. It was just, I couldn't find a good one with it. So it's actually with a fishing pole, and then I just photoshopped a net onto the end of it, which is why down here it's like, just roll with it. So in the story, it talks about him taking off his clothes. Not to be creepy, but it's because he has to walk into the water to go throw out his nets. And they didn't really have bathing suits, because when is this story taking place? A long time ago. And Nike didn't come out with bathing suits until not a long time ago. So that's why he was stripping down and going in there. And he goes up. How many times will he throw his net? 4. There you go. And that's it. And he's done. So the first time he throws it, what does he catch?
He catches a donkey.
Yeah, he catches a donkey. Now, why is he fishing? What is he trying to do with this?
Feed his family, selling, get money.
He's trying to feed his family. A rotted donkey carcass. I don't know about my children, but I've got a feeling most kids, if you bring home a giant rotted donkey and slap it down and go dig in, they're going to go, do we have any rocks? And they're going to choose to eat something else. So he threw that back, and then he throws it a second time. What does he catch? Just trash. He was like, well, that's not very good. Again, you know how whiny children are. That's not going to work. So then he throws it a third time.
Kind of like rocks and pebbles or something.
And there he goes, seashells and pebbles. So how many throws does he have left?
One more.
So he throws it the last time. What does he catch? That's where the genie's in there. So use your magic. It says he found a jar. Jelly jars are full of delicious things, so I used a jelly jar. Don't be judgy.
Genie's delicious.
So he has his jelly jar. Although he can't eat this, but why is he still excited about it?
Because it's
golden and like.
There you go. He figures he can sell it for money, or there might be something on the inside. And when he opens it up, what comes out?
Will Smith.
Those of you who know your genies, what are genies supposed to do?
Give wishes.
Give wishes.
But this one gave you a death wish.
Correct. This genie does not give wishes. Well, technically he does. What one wish does he give to him?
How you die.
Choose how you want to die. Because it turns out the genie was like locked away. Because apparently, much like many of you, the genie was sassy. and there was a genie king, and this genie was like, "How you doing, genie? How thou are?" And the genie king was like, "Oh yeah?" Smash, and then threw him into the water. And so then he was stuck in there for years and got grumpy. Imagine being grounded, but instead of going to your room, you were stuck in a jar. And instead of grounded for the weekend, it was thousands of years. So that's why when he pops
At
out,
least I can do whatever
he's
I want.
grumpy.
I need food.
Chezzy,
Will Smith?
you have a question?
Why he built like that?
What actor plays him?
Will Smith.
Oh,
No,
so then, end of story. Instead of getting killed, what does the fisherman do?
Make sure I have water.
Tricks him back into the whole thing, and that's how he ends up staying in there, and he ends up saving himself by tricking the genie back into the bottle, thus saving himself and preventing himself from being killed. At the beginning of the story, which one is using thee, thou, and thy?
The genie.
Because who has power?
The genie.
The genie. At the end of the story, who's using thee, thou, and thy?
The fisherman.
Because who has power?
But in the beginning, the fisherman was already saying be thou and
If you
die.
go back and look at it, he is not. And so at the very beginning of it, it is the genie who does it. And then all of a sudden, as soon as he gets the genie back into the bottle, then he starts getting sassy. And he is like, "Oh, genie, is thou stuck in a bottle? What is thou gonna do? Nothing." And so that's when he starts sassing the genie, because now he has power over him. Now he gets a chance to be sassy.
It says genie free.
So now, I'm hoping now that we've covered it, that should cover on the little green sheet all the things that, so you now know, like the plot bits, you have the beginning of the characters, you know, setting, point of view. Is there anything on here that you're legit confused on and don't know? Realizing if you need to and you are desperate, you can go to the YouTube, pause it, and you can see the screen I put up there with all the answers. So if you're really wanting it, you can find the answers and they will be up there. If not, if you don't want to ask now, when we're in the library, you can come over and ask me then. I'm happy to help you out also. It could be either one. Because it was a Google picture I found.
He looks just like me. He looks
Alright.
nothing like you.
Indian is
Home children, here's the part where you're now going to work on the IXL or read the story or make sure you have the green sheet done for tomorrow. And you should be good to go.
Yeah,